good afternoon again, guys. So, I'm here to continue my assigned report about Module 3. So, institutional correction in the Philippines. So, prisoners are also, I mean, before I forgot, I'm Kirby Katipay, and I'm reporter for today. So, prisoners are also allowed to build their NIPA huts and, NIPA huts, and since it is a mix of different religion, churches and workshops houses were constructed to cater various religions of the prisoner. So our inmates were give freedom to choose their own religions, because inside the imprisonment there are several religions like Catholics, or some religions, and inside the imprisonment they are also conducted masses for the for the for the religions purposes. Next slide. So some inmates were also allowed to have their husband to live with them inside the colony. This is evident by some playground around the area. So some organization or some institutional corrections allow this, and but they limit that way they give only time time fi, to be with to be where families. And next slide. So Leyte Regional Prison. So the Leyte Regional Prison, situated in Abuyog, Southern Leyte, so was established a year after the declaration of martial law in 1972 by virtue of Presidential Decree number 28, while its plantela and its institutional plan were almost ideal. So lack of funds made the prison unable to realize its full potential, and its facilities are often below par compared with those of other established penal farms. So Leyte Regional Prison was built during before a year before martial law. So it was on 1971. So because of martial law, or that said, prisons were not totally improved, and not totally it's not not for not that prison to compete another prison in here, or another institutional correction here in the Philippines, because of the martial law. Next slide. So the LRP has an inmate capacity of 500. So it follows the same agricultural formats as the main correctional program. So in addition to some rehabilitation activities, the prison admits convicted offenders from Region 6 and from the National Penitentiary in Muntinlupa. So the Leyte Regional Prison has only capacity of 500 inmates. So it allows the relocation of some inmates in Region 6, or it's only allowed the transferred inmates from Region 6 from the National Penitentiary. So next is the Public Attorney's Office, or PAO. It's attached agency of the Department of Justice, which provide indigent litigants pre-legal assistance. So for some inmates that so to for some inmates not provide their private attorney, so they can get into the public attorney's office. So for them to have the to defend themselves for for the crime they accuse, or for the crime they committed. So the PAO shall be an independent and autonomous office, but attached to the Department of Justice in accordance with Section 38, Chapter 3, 38, Chapter 7 of Book 4 of this code for purposes of policy and program coordination. So before, PAO was an independent organization. So but because of the accordance to the Section 38, they also follow the policy for them to get to coordination from the our justice system. Next slide. So the power shall be the principal law of office of the government is exceeding free legal assistance to indigent prison in criminal, civil, labor, administrative, and other quasi-judicial cases. So, as what I've said, so the PAO, they are the one who defend the accused, for them to have to express their sides and to express their opinion about that certain crime. So powers and function: the PAO shall independently discharge its mandate to render free or of charge legal representation, assistance, and counseling to indigent persons in criminal, civil, labor, administrative, and other quasi-judicial cases. So this is also one other functions of PAO. Next slide. So in the exigence of the service, the PAO may be called upon by proper government authorities to render such service to other persons subject to existing laws, rules, and regulations. So PAO also gives service to the individuals that cannot provide attorney. So they give the they give the possible subject for them to defend, or subject to that accordance to the law. So mission: the public attorney's office exists to provide the indigent litigants, the oppressed, marginalized, and underprivileged members of the society free access to courts, judicial, and quasi-judicial agencies by rendering legal services, counseling, and assistance in consonance with the constitutional mandate that free access to courts shall not be denied to any person by reason of poverty. So in order to ensure the rule of law, truth, and social justice as components of the country's sustainable development. So one of the purpose of PAO to provide provide the provide the rights of the individual who cannot get private attorney because of poverty, so that they provide this PAO for them to show that our law or our justice in the Philippines is not only for rich persons. They also get provide to the poor individual. Next slide. So the vision of POW is a government agency that is God-centered and dynamic bureaucracy that is responsive to the ever-growing legal needs of the indigents and oppressed, led by highly competent, world-class development oriented, honest, dedicated, and nationalistic leaders and lawyers. So this is the vision of our POW. So the POW is give their best, even they are not paid by the individuals, so they defense. So one of the attitude that POW wants is they want to be, their lawyers are dedicated for the cases they hold. So next slide. Pause or slide. So next is the provincial jail system was first established in 1910 under the American regime, supervised and controlled by the provincial government and headed by the provincial jail warden. So it was officially mandated in the first established in 1910 under the American supervision, and it was headed by the provincial jail warden. And next slide. So an institutional managed by God-centered professionals and trained personnel to serve as the principal catalyst for rehabilitation, restoration that leads to reformation of the social, physical, and spiritual aspects of the persons being detained to develop as law-abiding citizens for eventual reintegration into the mainstream of the society. So this POW is also God-centered, or they are professional and trained personnel to serve the people, for them to rehabilitate, or not POW, the the jail warden or the prison organization. So for them to rehabilitate or restore the people or the inmates to inside their institution. Next slide. So the office of the provincial warden shall promote safe and total detainment and rehabilitation, restoration of detainees under its custody. So the provincial warden, promotes safety to the inmates inside the time of their rehabilitation. So if some some inmates were were beaten or dead, the warden was the one who who answered, or the one who gave explanation to the higher institution or higher individuals, because it was under of his custody. Slide. So office of the provincial warden is committed to carry out effective implementation of all programs, so projects and activities relating to jail detainment and rehabilitation of prisoners being sentenced, detained, or held for trial by the court of justice. So the provincial warden, so they are want to carry out effective implementation of rule inside the imprisonment or inside the institution, because they are the one who, or they are the role model they are the one who implemented laws to rehabilitate individuals inside the prison. So they provide activities relating to jail detainment or rehabilitation of prisoners. So that's next slide. So develop and attend to the welfare of detainees in the provincial jail by providing substance and other welfare benefits and through provision of jail decongestion programs. So the warden will also provide or develop and some improvements for them to compete to compete other institutional correction or and to give the inmates safety secured inside the time of their rehabilitation. So they give welfare benefits through the provision of jail and the congestion program. Next slide. So they provide protection services and prepare the inmates socially, physically, mentally, and spiritually to become productive citizens for the eventual reintegration into the mainstream of society upon pardon or release. So as what I've said, one of the duty of warden is provide protection of each inmates inside in their institution or inside the prison and for or prepare them to a better individual for the purpose of their release, that they are well rehabilitate individual, or so that they cannot do again the crime they committed. So provide human safekeeping and reformation services to inmates for eventual reintegration and mainstreaming to society. And we are guided by the values of integrity, teamwork, and professionalism. So the warden also give so the warden also, as an organization, they are also need teamwork and professionalism for them to give mm, to give to give to give discipline to the inmates inside in their institution. So they provide programs for the inmates to be a good role model individual. So we found out that the major problems are redundancy of inmates profile, unorganized tracking of inmates profile, and time consuming in the general of jail reports. Our objective in making this program to make the job of the provincial jail employees easier. So the organization is found out that there are some technical problem about organ the the unorganized tracking of inmates profile, some some con- some consuming time of the jail reports, something like that. So they give solution about that for them to the jail employees, for the job makes easier, right? So the systems allows accurate generation of jail reports. Jail reports are generated faster compared to the manual system, which takes a lot of time to complete the entire search for an inmate's personal information being efficient. The proposed systems is an advantage to both the institution and its personnel. So they provide um, some or they improve the system so they improve the their organization or the system of their organization for them to give faster reports for the generated or for the manual. So I mean to give faster jail reports and for them to better institution and for the betterment of their personnel. So that's all of module 3. Thank you for listening. God bless. I'm out. Thank you. Goodbye.